rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, good evening and welcome to the August 25th Village of Woodbury Planning Board meeting.
No.
September, wow. Okay, let's try that again. Good evening and welcome to the September 1st Village of Woodbury Planning Board meeting. I don't even know how I did that. All right, we got a couple of minutes to vote on this evening. Has the board had a chance to review the minutes from July 21st?
Yep.
I'll offer a motion to accept the minutes as printed.
Second.
Second by Tommy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Has the board had a chance to review the minutes of August 4th as printed?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, I'll offer a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll make that.
Made by Rich. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, has the board had a chance to review the August 18th minutes as printed?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I'll offer a motion to accept those minutes.
I'll second.
Second by Sandy. Any question? All in favor? Aye. Okay. The time is now 7:32. There is no applicants in the building. We will give them 10 minutes to show up. You got some B-roll or something we can put on the...
Jeopardy music.
Okay. Thank Located in the rear of an existing single-family dwelling. Said property is located at 3 Riverdale Court in Central Valley and is known in the Village of Woodbury tax maps as Section 248, Block 1, Lot 2.2. Good evening. Just whenever you're ready, step up to the podium, state your name and what we're here for.
Good evening, I'm Jerry Cassessa with HVRS. We're here, we made an application to the building department for a rear covered screened-in porch on the back of 3 Rivervale Court. And we were referred to the Architectural Review Board. I guess consistent with a new zoning regulation that came out. We got a review letter from the engineer, and he had a couple of comments that he wanted us to further describe the project for you guys so you can understand what it is that we're doing and how it relates to the neighbors. So I'm going to give you a little packet here of photos of the area, the adjoining homes, and the updated site plan that he wanted with the bulk table requirements.
Okay. Okay, you'll have to stamp these in with the building department tomorrow.
I'm sorry?
You'll have to have these stamped in with the building department tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, just so they can be added to the application.
No problem. So they have an existing deck off the back of their house, and they just wanted to extend it and put in a screened covered porch. As far as the location, one of the things we gave you was a Google Earth picture of the cul-de-sac. And if you look at it, the Lawrence Square is where the deck is going to be added to the back of their home. They're on a cul-de-sac. The closest neighbor is number 10, which would be at 12 o'clock at the cul-de-sac. And behind them, I believe, is what's shown on the subdivision map as Forever Green Space. So there's no one behind them, and there's no vantage point where a neighbor could actually see the addition, but it will be behind their home, okay? We don't have an architectural rendering. Actually, there's one more of the Google Earth map. Street view, it shows you the cul-de-sac. They are this house here on the left, number 3, and the aerial view of number 10 is the one straight ahead at 12 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay? So that's where it's located, and that's the proximity to the other homes in the area. You have another picture that shows the existing rear elevation of the home. If I could find it here for you. So that is the existing elevation, the rear elevation. And where they want to add the additional deck and screened-in porch is from the edge of the existing deck to the edge of the home. And there's an exterior patio door up here. So the roof line is going to come across like an eyebrow over that and hit the side of the fireplace chimney. So they could still come out of the door, be in the covered portion, and walk into the covered porch section. The other picture I gave you was a picture that they brought to us of what they want the screened-in porch to look like. So it's basically a covered porch, just like theirs, 1 story out of the ground with columns holding it up. Screening 4 sides, a roof. Essentially, railings would be on the inside, you know, so the kids don't rip the screens or what have you. And that's basically it. As far as the application, we had to submit a few other documents for you guys. It was about the water use. And obviously, there's no additional water use with this application. I understand that's one of the reasons why this zoning is being passed, I believe. You had asked for information on the types of materials being used. So it's a GAF architectural roof shingle. Their shingle is a very common one called weathered wood, still made. We're going to match the roof shingle. The exterior of their wall is hardy, and it's a cementitious clapboard, 8-inch clapboard, and it's painted. It comes primed and painted. One of the comments from the engineer was that I wrote that the color was to match the house, and he wanted us to determine the actual color of the house. I don't have that record, and if we do get a permit, the goal is to take a piece of siding off where the covered porch will go, take that piece to the paint store, they will color match it, and give me a paint that matches it identical to the existing color. I just don't have a name and a manufacturer of that paint. There are no screens, there are no windows, there's only screens. The trim will be hardy, 5/4 by 4, and that will be painted white like you see on this picture, and the rest of his house is white trim. It's going to match that as well. The bulk table that we gave you has got one item that should be clarified. I guess they checked to the building inspector. The bulk table for the R1A zone, I guess that's it, R1A, says that you require a 50-foot rear yard. But I guess when they approved that subdivision, it was approved to reduce yards of 40 feet, and that's been approved, confirmed by the building department. So when you look at the bulk table requirements, Obviously, lot A area is, 1 acre, they're just slightly over an acre. The width of the lot exceeds it, it's supposed to be 125, it's 291. The front yard is 40 and exists at 40.6 feet, so they went right to the front yard, just about. That's not changing. The rear yard says 50 foot with that asterisk on it. It is currently 50.2 feet. But if you read down, 40-foot setback approved for the Greens of Woodbury subdivision is what that asterisk is there. And our addition, we made sure that it was gonna still fall between the 40-foot rear yard setback, so we have 41.7 feet. The side yards are, 30 and 60, and they're 40 and 214 feet, so obviously there's plenty of side yards. The building height is 29 plus or minus feet. I'm not sure how you guys check it, median height, back, front, whatever, it's gotta walk out in the back. But it's existing, we're not changing that, and the coverage is allowed up to 20%. It was at 14.8%, we're adding 1%, it's gonna be 15.9% with the additional deck and roof. So we'd like to ask for approval to build the covered screen porch.
You want me to go to Jonathan then? Yes, all right. Jonathan, I know you had a few.
Our memorandum of August 26th, the gentleman has apparently really followed closely and made a lot of submittals. We can review those when they're officially submitted tomorrow to the building department. It sounds like it satisfies what we're looking for. Basically, I know he said he did not provide any elevations. I guess my only concern was, in order for you to approve this, you really sort of need to know how it's going to look. And I don't have those submittals. And if you are now satisfied that there's enough indication of how this will look when it's completed, you'll decide on if you need an actual set of elevations. Maybe the picture of how it's going to look, by example, is good enough. A public hearing is required, so I don't believe that you should do this tonight, but you can schedule it. If you think this is complete enough, you can schedule it.
Questions for the applicant? Or Jonathan? Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's certainly, that's the type
I
of.
just broke my mask. Yeah, no, me too.
I got more than 20. Are you in motion, Sam?
Yeah.
Oh, the mic's not on.
And here you go, so this is the, updated whole table.
What about the other one, Jonathan? Jeff? Oh, there, he got it.
Finally.
An emergency mask repair.
Jonathan, you're done? Or,
Yes.
okay. Jerry, I just have a question. So, based on this picture, so the deck is gonna go down to the end.
It's actually going to pass the end, I think, by, I have the drawing here. Matt?
Few feet, 2 or 3 feet there.
It's going to extend 3 feet past, no, I think it's 4 feet past the end of the house.
Okay? And then where's the staircase down going to be?
Can I show you this?
Um,
Is this the best way to do it, I guess?
yes, yes.
This is the plan, the architecture. So this is the end of the house here. This is the screen porch with the roof, shed roof. And we're gonna extend this part of the deck and the stairs will go down the middle. So we're looking at the back of the house, picture.
So the stairs are gonna come back down this way,
This way, yeah, it's gonna start somewhere around here and come back down.
but you're gonna send this out 3, 4 feet out past here?
And it's going to be covered from the fireplace?
Yeah, so.
Is it gonna be covered here also?
If you will, I'll sketch that in, I guess. So what they asked us to do is put a little shed roof on there.
Yeah.
I mean, I could draw something by hand if they really need it. And then, because we have the window height here. Like that. So I'll measure my square, and then it'll be, post. And that's gonna look like, drawing that.
So as far as how it comes out, it's going to be equal to this?
No, it comes out past that. So the existing deck line is here. I believe, edge, I'm sorry, limit of existing deck is here. So we're adding this piece of the landing down the stairs, to the landing, the stairs, which is pretty high, so you want to have one straight shot. So we're gonna start, the stairs will have an intermediate landing.
Okay, but then how far out from the existing deck is
The
this
existing
coming?
deck will coming, well, it's gonna be 20-foot total projection, and the existing deck is, it doesn't give me that measurement, maybe down here it does. 6 foot, new 6-foot deck, it says there,
Okay, so this is coming out 6 feet.
6 foot, that's correct.
And then the stairs you said are going,
The other way towards the driveway. Driveway's on this side.
okay. And from where will they start? Over here to go
The
down,
stairs
and
will
then a
start-
platform and then down again?
Yeah, so, in line with this fireplace chase that we see,
Okay,
the first lot of stairs will start here,
okay,
come down to the landing,
okay,
and then back down again.
okay. So this will be a flat, like a shed, little shed roof, and then it'll go up.
So like
Like
we
that?
here, we can see it on this
So it's
elevation.
gonna, the peak of the roof is gonna be just below the second floor window?
Yeah, 8 inches required by flashing requirements.
Okay.
So it's right here, you can see. how it's going to-
So then these windows,
Will be inside the screen.
okay, so nothing on the wall is changing, and just, so that'll be the door out to the,
Right.
okay. And then this will be out 6 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the stairs are going down, landing and then down.
Okay, so
And
the
this will
staircase
be the
goes away,
screen.
and then,
The limit of the screening is gonna encase that little roof, so you walk down, you can see the screened area.
so you get that, that's,
And then there's a
that
little screen
staircase
door
goes
here.
away, it bumps out,
So that's the
and the stairs are going down this way. Sets the stairs.
limit of.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the code, but is that permitted?
Do you understand?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I've never seen a deck stick out behind me.
What?
Is it coming past the edge of the house?
Yes,
Yes,
It is, right?
4
by
feet.
4 feet.
Okay.
I would just check that, I'm not sure of the code. I never seen a deck come past, I never seen a deck come past the end of the house.
Oh, it comes past the end of the house and goes to the back, and go through the
Yeah.
wraparound porches.
Well, I guess if the building inspector is gonna approve it,
Yeah.
but
The sun back around all of us.
So then, if you're looking at the front of the house, you're gonna see screen
you see the 4 feet.
for that 4 feet. There's gonna be screen,
Yeah,
You're gonna see, you'll see, yeah, I guess you will, if you can get around that side of the house, which is here. Yeah, you will be able to hear a good view of it.
yeah, so this piece right here,
Yeah,
it will be screened.
Right, you'll see a screen panel, you'll see the little gable painted, audio siding, little triangle. And the way it's-
Okay.
Richard building was.
Right.
Other questions, concerns? Rick, do you have anything?
I can't comment on what's been presented tonight, but with respect to what's been presented tonight, and what may be before the board for approval, is that it has to have sufficient detail and measurements so that whatever you approve can be enforced by the building inspector in the field. So I can't tell whether or not there's sufficient measurements and detail, but I'll leave that up to you. More than 30 days has passed for the 239. We haven't received a response, but that's not going to prohibit you from making a decision. It's a type 2 action under seeker, and it requires a public hearing. And normally it requires also specific paint chips or colors that the public can look at for purposes of the public hearing, rather than just, we'll try to match it as best we can at the time after an approval.
I think for the file to be complete, don't we need a rendering of what it's actually going to look like?
You're supposed to have an ARB sheet, yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't see that, but
no.
No, it's not in here.
It's not in there.
The ARB
You
sheet?
have this ARB.
That sheet, is there something in addition to that you need?
well, do you have the?
Yeah, and it doesn't have the color, it just says match house.
Okay,
Right.
so what I will do is, I will do this. I will go to the paint store with a chip of their siding, and they're gonna give you not a name, but it'll have a sample of the test paint, and it'll say whatever the codes are to mix that paint, I guess. It's custom paint color. I don't know, there's not gonna be a
I'm gonna get
name.
to that next.
But I'll give you a nice 1 foot by 1 foot swatch.
It's not me, it's to the board,
To the board.
and to the public, but it has to be submitted in enough time so that the public can view it if they want to, prior to the public hearing.
Okay.
It's just like you do with your commercial properties when you do the board. It has all the colors you're gonna use, the roof color, the siding color, and the paint colors.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It's no different than when you do the commercial properties. That board has to be given in so the public can see what the colors are gonna look like. And council is correct, part of ARB review is the requirement of a 3D rendering of some sort of, gonna show what it's actually gonna look like when it's done.
Okay, so they'll have to hire an architect to draw a render.
And
Yep.
that,
If
that
that's
was
what's
our
required,
comment
that's
number
required.
5.
I'm sorry?
That was our comment number 5 to,
Okay.
that some type of rendering. And, the question, not having seen it, I don't know if what he submitted tonight.
It's just a picture of what it's
It's
supposed to look like.
substitutable.
How long do you potentially take that would take you to get done? Because we could schedule a public hearing for the 6th of October, if you have everything in before
By the
that.
6th of October, absolutely, yes.
Because just the 15th is cutting it too close, so the 6th is our next
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah, so, and it's submission to you 10 days before, what is it?
Yeah, you could, as soon as you get it in, but it would have to be 2 weeks before October 6th.
Right.
Would be the drop dead date to make it for that meeting.
Okay,
All right?
so I have to, I'm sure he'll have no problem hiring an architect to do it. Just to make sure you have an architect that can fit in their schedule would be the issue.
Yeah, so the 3D rendering and then the color board.
Okay, the color thing is no problem. We'll get that together in a day.
Okay.
But, so October 6th,
Well, I gotta make the motion first.
okay.
Did you type this one?
I gotta type it first. All right, so I'll offer a motion to type it as a type 2 on the secret.
I'll second.
Second, Sandy, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I also will offer a motion to schedule a public hearing for October 6th.
I'll second.
Second by Sandy, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, you're clear, you're good with what needs to be done before
You need
then?
a 3D rendering, and you also need the full sample board.
Yes.
That's all you need.
That should be, I think, nobody else needs anything else, right?
And then the things
Nope,
you
and then-
submitted tonight need to be submitted.
I'll submit that to the
officially
building department tomorrow, and I guess they'll stamp it received.
They may require more than one copy, though, so you should call them ahead of time to see how many copies you will need to submit.
Okay,
All right.
that's it, thank you.
Yep, thank
Have a
you.
good night.
You too, take care. Eastgate Management, 7 Springs Road, had requested to be dropped from the agenda. Next item, Hartman Design, Jacob ARB, review documents submitted for ARB and ridge preservation for proposed single-family dwelling. Said properties located within the subdivision known as Woodbury Villas at 5 Allegheny Cross and is known in the Village of Woodbury's tax map, section 255, block 1, lot 6.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Yeah, go ahead.
Yep. Okay, so I submitted a revised front design together with a booklet with 5 sheets. At the last meeting, it was discussed that regarding the ridge preservation, and the board waived the requirement of the ridge preservation on the behalf that you don't see the property from any of the view quarters, but it was still left the architectural review that it's supposed to be similar than the surrounding properties. There was a concern at the last meeting. The building had stucco. It looked too flat, too modern. Additional, had no projections, no decks, no columns, no porches in the front. The board did not particularly feel that it fits in the criteria of the surrounding area. So I changed the front exterior design, and particularly removed entirely the stucco. There was a comment that most of the houses over there have some sort of mix of stone. So I added stone halfway on the floor, front. Additionally, I added these columns, which are very typical in that area, particularly the bottom base with the block of it, in order to take away that whole modern look. So I revised it based on the comments of the board. And the booklet is basically simple, still has the same, basically has a comparison between the previous elevation and the front elevation. And page number 4 has the previous rendering versus the new rendering, and then the new list of colors, the new list of materials, the names and the pictures of it.
Let's go to Jonathan first, and then we'll do questions.
You have a memorandum from NPV dated August 26th that we've circulated. As the applicant mentioned, you determined at the last meeting it's not subject to ridge preservation. Our second comment, he has modified the application with the new front elevation, breaking up the vertical lines with different materials. And you should review that and determine whether that has sort of fixed the problems you identified at the last meeting. Then there are some leftover details from previous memo that haven't been addressed quite yet. I assume the applicant was waiting to see if you liked the new design before finalizing these other details, but we need a revised floor plan with all the rooms labeled. And our comment 4 lists some issues with the bulk requirements table. We need to know the lot coverage, for instance, and the specific building height. For our site plan review comments, the site plan needs to show the proposed grading. It looks like there's going to be some grading on the east and south side, but there's no grading shown on the north or west sides of the lot. We would like to see a landscape plan proposal. There's supposed to be 1 shade tree planted for every 40 feet of road frontage, and a front landscaped area 25 feet in width is required. Whether, typically there's some, besides lawn, there's some shrubs specified. The driveway needs to be provided with some type of turnaround area, and if there may be a culvert required, they should find that out from the highway department. And I'll leave the seeker issues and GML to Rick. Those are our comments of August 26th.
Thank you, Jonathan. Questions for Jonathan? No? On the rendering, the new rendering,
Yep.
you have the shake going across the front, but on the rendering in the back, it looks like just regular lap siding? Did it
Correct.
just not carry all the way through?
If you take a look at the shape of the house, this part is like about 10 feet in the back. And this was siding all the way. Even when this was stucco, this was siding because they didn't want to do the expensive material just in the front. This is like towards the back. So that will be typically a more cheaper, more other siding that you would see in the rest of the development.
Okay.
So that siding on the right-hand side, that's going to go all the way around?
Yeah, in the back, all the way
Okay.
like in the back and everything.
Any other questions for the applicant? Oh, people-
Also, the, next to the garage?
This one?
Yeah. Is there stone anywhere carried through on the front there, or no?
No. So the stone is over here.
Right?
No stone over here. You want to break it up a little bit.
Okay,
Full stone over here, and half back to the half on that side.
okay. I didn't know if that was just
Yeah.
okay, so nothing on that,
Yeah, kind of, because this has the full, you kind of break it up a little bit,
Okay.
not having a straight horizontal line all the way across.
Any other questions or concerns for the applicant?
did we have a total square footage on this?
Oh, what?
Total square footage? I'm sure if it was on one of the other ones.
Basement is 21. $5,022 for the first in the garage. So, come on.
And this was all one floor, there's no second floor or loft
No.
or anything?
The back section has you wouldn't see it from the front.
Has
but
what? I'm
The
sorry.
back section has a basement.
Okay, but no
Nothing
second
above, no.
story?
So 7,797 square feet, sound about right?
Yep.
He has it on this one, so.
Yeah.
Rick, you want to go ahead and comment for now? I know you have one or two things, right?
Sure, but before I get to that, what was the type of siding on that right side and going around the back?
Traditional 4-inch vinyl siding.
Vinyl siding?
4-inch vinyl siding, you said, right?
Yep.
4-inch?
4-inch, typical.
But that's a new structure, right?
Yeah.
I'll leave that to the planning board.
Because we didn't get them on that long frame.
This is a seeker type 2 action.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt.
No, sorry, Rick, go ahead.
No, that's all right. Your comments take precedence, so I didn't want to interrupt. There's no GML 239 required. A public hearing is required. And the plans state that the owner is Woodbury Villas LLC, but I think it's not Woodbury Villas LLC anymore. Is that correct?
This particular property? No, it's an individual
Right.
person.
Yeah, so that needs to be changed. Right now, it's indicating on the plans, I believe, that it's owned by Woodbury Villas, and I believe it's owned by Rachel Jacob.
Yeah. Let me see. On the architectural plans or the site plans?
Probably the site plans, but you should check both.
Okay.
Yeah, on C1, it has Woodbury Villas LLC on it, so they just need to be consistent all
Yeah.
the way through.
Definitely.
And we don't have, you did the packet for us, but we don't have an updated ARB to match the packet. And we just gotta talk about, I guess, the vinyl siding on that one side of the house.
Why can't it be vinyl siding?
I'm not saying you can't, I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
making sure everybody's
Oh,
okay with
No, I
that.
thought you were going.
No, I wasn't going down, I was just making sure
Okay.
everybody's okay with that. I think we've hammered that enough in that development up there. Okay. So when you do the ARB, just make sure you have whatever siding is gonna be used on the other parts of the house. Make sure that's listed as well, please.
And Mr. Hartman, the color of that vinyl siding, will that be the same color as the shake?
Yes.
Okay, because it looks like it's like more beige, that's why I was
Correct.
wondering.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
the way the 3D is, because it's further in and
okay,
you have that light. Over here, it looks a little bit different, but I would try to match. I mean, the stone are gonna be the same, just a matter of the siding, because it has a big perimeter all the way around. They didn't wanna spend, they wanna have a nice front, but doesn't have to be the entire house.
All right, but whatever color it ends up being, just make sure it's listed on the form, because that's what the building department's gonna look at as well.
Yes.
We good for setting a public hearing? Yes? 15th's no good with the holiday, right? So October 15th, September?
September 15th is not gonna work, and probably because if you need a public hearing, then,
yeah, you have to have a public hearing.
You have to have a public hearing.
yeah, so that would be 2 weeks from, take a look at that.
For the 6th.
We wouldn't be able, we wouldn't be able to do it the 15th anyway. Is that too soon?
Too soon, yeah. That should be the 6th.
So the October 6th, I think also might interfere. Let me take a look. No, the October 6th is fine.
It's fine?
Yep,
Just Rosh Chodesh.
yep.
All right, so for a motion to schedule a public hearing for October 6th? Second by Rich. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
Seeker?
I'll offer motion to type this as a type 2 action on the Secra.
I'll second.
Second by Sandy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So just the updated ARB form, the couple, whatever items that the planner has to update, and then same thing we told the other applicant, just a color board for the public hearing.
Correct.
And then we can go from there.
Okay, great, thank you. Just if I can ask the technical questions on those comments regarding particularly the turnaround, do you need that? I've seen most, I mean, probably 98% of those.
Do we need, I missed the
The
part.
turnaround on the parking. The turnaround you mentioned on the
Oh, the
parking?
Oh, the
turnaround.
Do you
turnaround.
need that on a residential, single family?
Yeah, just, it can even be small, but
Yeah.
there's a requirement that you shouldn't have to back out all the way onto the driveway. Just enough room so that if you come out of the garage, you could turn and come out front ways.
Correct, okay. They just didn't see it in the rest of the development, so, okay, not a problem, I'll add that. Regarding the landscaping, are you required to have a particularly landscape design? Or if that person does not plan any particular landscape design as of now?
You need to, I would just, there are very few specifics on what's required for a single-family home. There's the one street tree for every 40 feet, that's specific. So if you have, I forget what the frontage of the lot is.
Correct, so if it's around, let's say, 200, you would need 5 of that.
Yes,
The question is that for the ridge preservation or just in general for any property?
that's under general landscaping
General
for new
landscaping,
homes.
okay.
And sometimes in the subdivision, the developer put in some street trees, but what we found in WP3 is sometimes those trees don't seem to be there anymore. But there's supposed to be one tree for every 40 feet.
Okay, not a problem. And the shrubs, I saw you mentioned the shrubs.
Yes.
Is that also a requirement, part of the landscaping?
To have some foundation plantings
Okay,
for a home.
not a problem. We'll add that. And I'll submit everything before 2 weeks, so it's all in.
Okay. All right, next, Apartment Designs, Vista Pearl LLC, ARB, reviewed documents submitted for ARB and ridge preservation for a proposed single-family dwelling. Said property is located at 19 Seven Springs Road in Highland Mills and is known in the Woodbury Village of Tax Maps, Section 215, Block 1, Lot 5. Oh, I actually had some logic when I did my agenda, I guess. I put all your stuff together at once.
Yeah. Just put on that, add, different project. This project is a very similar project, also a single-family home, which is going to be located at 19 Seven Springs Road. It's on a 2-acre property. There's an existing house right now. The owner bought the property about a year and a half ago. At that point, you were not, ARB was not required. They have changed the zoning since then. Then anything above that, which is at this level, requires ARB approval. So I'm seeking for, how's it called? This is located in the above, so you need the ridge preservation. It goes into the ridge preservation requirements. Explanation a little bit about this single family, same thing, just a 1-story with just very small areas that is gonna have some attic space with windows in it. Other than that, it's gonna sit on the same location that the existing house is on. So if you take a look at the booklet, quickly I'll run it by. Just a zoomed in site plan, page number 2. Page number 2 gives you the idea. This is the location where the existing house is. The existing house is a little bit smaller, but this is how it's, the owner proposes it, with the round driveway in the front. Page number 4 has a 3D rendering, which is similar to the board, which is the same as the board that I have. Basement floor plan. Yet the basement is not going to be exposed from the front. It goes downhill towards the back. So a big portion of the basement is going to be exposed from the back. The front, it's just going to be a walk-in just for the first floor. A101, page number 6, which has the first floor plan. Then we have the front elevation, showing the height, that it's going to be a height of 27.6, which is less than the 35, max of 35. Page number 8 has the different materials, just a bigger picture of it, the name of it, the company, and the style. Page number 9 gives you the site compared to the surroundings, just a typical tax map. Page number 10 shows you the different houses. I wanted the board to see the surrounding area, so it labels all the houses around it that I have pictures of, and from 10 to 16 has pictures of the surrounding houses. So the next page is 329 Forest, which is the next one is the existing, the way it is now. After that, it has the next door neighbor, 329 Forest, this is the middle of construction. And same goes to the next couple of pages with all the surrounding, the neighboring houses.
Jonathan, you want to go ahead with your memo?
Sure, you have a memorandum from NPV dated August 26th, and in our site plan comments, our first one is the existing house is being removed and the driveway is going to be changed. And if we could show an existing, sort of an existing condition sheet that shows the house, you know, the house to be demolished and where everything is now, so that we can see what's going to be changed. Trees to be preserved should be circled, large trees, and any large trees proposed for removal should be shown on that plan with an X, so that we know which trees might need to come down to make room for the house that's going in. And we need information on the demolition. County approval will be needed for this new driveway arrangement because the road frontage is on 7 Springs Road, which is county-maintained roadway. The floor plans are missing detail for the second floor, so you need a floor plan for the different levels. A short EAF Part 1 form should be submitted. SBL numbers, block and lot numbers should be corrected. As far as the ridge preservation goes, we need the simulation of the view of the new roofing and windows from a view corridor, if it could be seen from a view corridor. We noted in our comment, ridge preservation 1B, that the structure is proposed to be off-white colored vinyl, and that may be too bright, and you may wish to look at that and suggest more of an earth tone. The El Dorado stone is something you've accepted before, but I wanted to point out that the vinyl color, I think, is a little lighter than you usually approve. The Regal stone for the roof shingle seems to be a natural color. A note should be added that all windows will be treated with non-reflective film. That's become standard on these ARBs. On the ridge preservation, trees are supposed to be preserved in this new U-shaped driveway configuration. It looks like it may require the removal of one of the mature maple trees at the corner of the lot there. So once again, we need to know all trees that are proposed for removal. On the architecture review, they've provided photos of comparable homes in the neighborhood, and also if we could have sort of estimates of the gross floor area of the different houses. So the size of this house could be compared to the size of the surrounding homes, so the board can make a determination that it fits in, that it's not unduly larger than perhaps the surrounding homes. The U-shaped driveway, there's a curve there. The current driveway comes out on a straight portion of 7 Springs Road, but the U-shaped driveway, one of the ends of the U is on a place where the road is curving, and we need to know that that won't cause a sight distance problem where people coming around the curve may not see someone coming in or out of the driveway until it's too late. And there's a code on that for a minimum sight triangle, so if you could look at that. And we'll, as in the last application, we'd like to see a landscape plan with 1 shade tree for every 40 feet and a landscaped area 25 feet in width. And those are the results of the review of August 26th.
Thank you very much. Questions for Jonathan? Can you elaborate a little bit more? In the basement, there's a guest suite with the kitchenette. Is that going to be a full kitchen, a hot plate? What's the purpose behind that? Is it going to be mother-daughter, an elderly family member potentially living in the basement?
No, it's not going to be an elderly, probably. It's not a mother-daughter. It is a luxury home. It is going to have a guest suite. Typically, the weekends, because you don't walk, you have either your in-laws coming or similar to that. So you have a small place, but this is just about, usually the guest suite, like the kitchen like that, has some refrigerator, sink, but no cooking devices because there's no place to eat. The eating is basically upstairs. So you would have, and there is like a guest suite that you can have some water, put down something, but there's no eating area, so there's no cooking over there.
But it does have its own entrance into the backyard, it looks like, correct?
Correct, yes. So the guests could either enter can go to the backyard. Typically, it's made if you're giving if you have guests that it's not as comfortable usually going from the front of the house, coming in all the way, going down. They would come in with the belongings straight from, go around, go in the backyard and walk in straight to the guest suite rather than having to carry all their stuff through the entire house.
And it's a one-car garage, but I think I counted 10 beds. So only one driver in the house? Or only plans for one driver in the house?
That is the preference of the owner. This is, yep, the way it is, it's just one driver.
Okay.
I mean, the rest of it has a big driveway if they have more than one car. But as far as the garage, he only needs one.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, questions, concerns?
It's hard to read some of these rooms in the basement.
fine, we got it back up.
Yeah, it looks like
We had asked for the PDF to be better resolution, but I don't know if that's part of the problem.
Can you read these?
The playroom, looks like playroom, no, those two I can't read. So when you
Which
come
one?
down the stairs, the two rooms, as soon as you come down the stairs, what are they?
As soon as you come down the stairs, you go right to the playroom. You go to the playroom, and the left
No,
where
no,
this,
sorry, wrong staircase. There's I guess a front staircase? Okay, so you see where it says unexcavated?
yes?
So if you follow to the left of unexcavated, there's two rooms there?
Yeah, so one is a sauna,
Okay,
and one is a sauna, one is the room before the sauna, and then there's this little personal mikveh.
Now, it looks like 3 bathrooms in the basement?
Yeah, one is in the mikveh area, one is off the playroom, and then one for the 2 guest rooms.
Okay.
So 2 half and 1 full, yeah.
any other questions? Rick?
Couple of things. One, it's a seeker type 2. The GML 239M was made, referral was made, but it hasn't yet been 30 days. A public hearing is required. Also, this application is not exempt from the moratorium, and I neglected to say also in the prior Jacob one, that's also not exempted from the moratorium. So although we can go through with all these procedures, the board cannot make a decision on that until the moratorium is lifted.
Okay, even though you submitted the application before, it doesn't,
Excuse me?
even though you've been, for the previous one, even though if you have been before the board before, it doesn't matter, even if you started the,
That's correct. There are certain exemptions in the moratorium law, but neither one of these fit within any of those exemptions.
is on the moratorium also on the single families?
Moratorium covered virtually all applications. There were some exemptions, so there's only a few exemptions that are going forward. One is if there is, for instance, just like the first one, it's a porch on an existing approved home, that's exempted. But building a new home is not exempted.
Okay. Is that just for the board to vote for, or is that a general, even for the building department? Because I did see some exemptions I'll have to go to with the building department. For example, previously approved subdivision, something like that.
I can't tell you without knowing all the particulars, but generally, if you received an approval from the board before the moratorium went in effect, then you may be able to, and there are some other instances where you may have completed seeker before then, or a seeker and a public hearing before the moratorium. You still may be able to get building permits because you're exempt from the moratorium because it fits within one of the exemptions. Both the prior application and this application, in my review, does not fall into any of the exemptions. Looked at it for each of the exemptions, and it doesn't comply with any of the exemptions. And it allows, the moratorium allows you to proceed with your application and the planning board to continue to review it. They just can't make a final determination of an approval until after the moratorium is lifted. And it covers most building, commercial and residential, throughout the village. So the two things would be a seeker, we could get that out of the way, and then setting of a public hearing.
Yeah, I think we're not quite ready for prime time for the public hearing yet. We got probably one more submission to get all the information that the planner is asking for, and then we could be ready for a public hearing. Do you think you would be able to get all of that in by, I just had a date pulled up on my calendar too. It'd be September 23rd. You'd have to have all that in by to make
Okay.
the October 6th public hearing.
Okay.
Yes?
All those, all the details, I'll be able to submit it by September 23. Yes.
Okay. And the same thing, you'd have to have the little color chart and stuff like that for the,
I mean, this was done almost 2 months ago. At that point, there were no personal meetings, so I did it the way we did it on the Zoom. But by now, I'll bring in the actual material.
you're gonna be an expert at this by the time we get,
Huh?
you're gonna be an expert at this by the time
Yeah.
we're done.
Can we get a rear rendering too?
Are we a render?
Yeah, because
Okay.
we don't, it's just the front.
Can you generate a rear rendering?
I can do that. I mean, basically, the view quarter is the street, 7 Springs Road, that is. So that's why I did the front. I mean, you can obviously see it because the front road is the view quarter. That's where you would see it from a view quarter. So if you take a look at the site plan, the road, that's one of the view quarters.
Okay, yeah, I think they just want to see what the
Just
side,
like
the
the way
rear
it
of the house
looks,
is gonna look like.
a rendering or just a big block?
The rendering,
picture?
a rendering of the rear of the house.
Rendering.
Also, the way it's going, whether or not you're going for that public hearing or the next meeting, isn't going to make any difference since the board can't make a decision. So I don't know if it's worth it for you to hurry up
Okay,
and then
correct.
wait, or just go ahead and take an additional couple of weeks to go ahead and submit it. It's not going to make any difference as far as the ultimate determination, when the board can make an ultimate determination.
Correct.
So it's up to you. If you don't want to put yourself under a deadline, we can wait. We can move the public hearing out for further into October.
After the October 6th, when is that? The next one would be 14 days from then. It's be the 20th. correct?
20th, right.
Okay, it's not a I mean, we can do the 20th.
What, I missed the last part.
We can do the 20th.
The 20th? Okay. All right, so I'll offer a motion to type this as type 2 on the secret.
Second.
Second by Tommy. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Second, I'll offer a motion to schedule a public hearing for October 20th.
I'll second.
Second by Rich. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Oh, hold on, I think we got one more.
Chris, are you going to be meeting on September 15th?
Is everybody available to meet on September 15th?
No,
I am, but it is,
It's the Yom Kippur holiday, and I'll send Max that day.
Okay, we available the 15th? Yom Kippur start.
I'm not going to be available.
Okay, so we'll have a quorum of the board, so we'll just,
You will or won't?
we will have a quorum for that day. Next item on the agenda, Hartman Hirish, ARB review documents submitted for ARB and ridge preservation for a proposed addition to an existing single-family dwelling. Said property is located within the village, Woodbury Villas subdivision at 64 South Fields Falls, and is known in the Village of Woodbury tax maps, section 255, block 1, lot 1, 37.
This house is basically, it's an existing house, and the owner wants to do an addition to the left side of the home. So to show you on this, this is all existing. The owner wants to do, this is an addition from the door, from approximately over here. This is an addition. As of now, it has only one dormer, and the owner wants to add more bedrooms on the second floor. So he's adding from another bedroom and more space in the back on the second floor. So this area changes, and this is existing, this is existing. As of now, it has the garage on the area where the new addition goes. So he's adding a new garage in the front because he's blocking the first one. Just to put it, I also provided a booklet. Page number 2 has the site plan, which shows the addition within the setbacks. Next page is this rendering that is on the board. First floor plan showing the added doorway and the added garage on that floor. And page number 5 showing the new playroom and the bedroom, the walk-in closet and all of that. Page number 6 has the architectural drawing. Page number 7 has materials, which is going to be basically the same as the existing. No, it's not, yeah. Which will be the same as the existing. Roof also same as the existing. And page number 8 has an actual image of the existing.
Should be 12'4". So, actually, Jonathan, why don't you go ahead with yours, and then we'll...
Okay, you have a memorandum from NPV dated August 26th. And on submission comments, we noted that we need a floor plan for the basement level that should be included. We had a question on the water and sewer demand form. It said the new addition will not include bedrooms, so, but we want to confirm that by looking at all the floor plans for all levels. And we noted that on the first floor, there's a very large room. One of the largest rooms in the house is next to the garage on the first floor, and it's just labeled unfinished storage. And typically, we note that people, when they build big additions to a house, they usually don't leave the first floor for storage. It's usually the basement level. So we just wanted an explanation for that large room. We'd like to know the square footage of the existing dwelling and the proposed addition. We need existing topography and the proposed grading, stormwater management features, any drainage features, landscaping, including the shade tree for every 40 feet. We've discussed that a few times tonight. Bulk requirements table should be included on the site plan. And I listed the bulk requirement detail standards that should be put in the bulk requirements table. For ridge preservation, the site's at approximately 770 feet in elevation, so it's subject to those standards if it's available from view corridors. So the applicant should submit evidence whether or not the proposed home addition will be visible from any designated view corridors. We noted in 8B that they're proposing desert tan CertainTeed vinyl siding for the addition, which to match the existing home. And the planning board should discuss whether that standard is the standard for a natural color has been met. The roof is specified as rustic slate with Tamco heritage shingles. That appears to meet the standard, but that should be discussed. We'd like a note indicating that anti-reflection window film will be applied to all new windows. We need to know whether there'll be any clearing or removal of 8-inch or greater caliber trees proposed. Under architecture review, we need some photos or information in tabular form on the surrounding homes around the project so that the board can determine whether the house that's an addition going in are going to be compatible with the existing styles, heights, and configurations of the surrounding homes. And that is it. And I'll leave the seeker and GML issues to Mr. Golden.
Question for the applicant or for Jonathan? You did say there's going to be new bedrooms, right?
That's for us.
No, I kind of confused the two projects. I'm looking at it right now, and I'll give you I'll also submit the existing floor plan, so you can kind of compare it with this one. So I thought there's going to be more bathrooms, but it's not going to have more bedrooms or bathrooms.
Say that again?
So
I don't think it's going to have additional, no, it's not going to have an additional bedroom or bathroom.
so you're not adding bedrooms to the upper floor?
No, it's the playroom, then the walk-in closet, and I believe the bedroom number 4 and 3 is existing. I'll have to verify that and submit the original plans in order to compare that.
The large unfinished room next to the
The large
next to the
unfinished
garage,
room,
what is this? What's the situation there?
that's the existing garage. So as of now, we're adding that garage on the left side.
Yeah.
As of now, the entrance to the existing garage is right where their garage is, which is on the side of the house. That's where the existing garage is right now. It's, as of now, unfinished, and they don't have a plan of finishing it as of now.
But it is used as a garage now,
Yes.
but you are going to wall it in and put in 2 windows.
No, the window's existing.
Okay, so
If you see,
but where's the garage?
you see that
door-
garage
where's
opening?
the garage door now that you drive into that?
you see that square? You see that square in kind of in gray, right next to the door?
Yeah, where it says to the right of the mud entry?
Yeah, that's the actual garage right now. They'll remove the door, but they'll leave everything like the 2 walls on the side, all of that.
So you're going to basically, this is kind of unusual, which is why I'm asking so many questions.
Yeah,
So you're gonna take a 2-car garage, and you're going to put a wall up so you can't get into it anymore with a car, but you're gonna otherwise leave it alone, and then put in a 1-car garage next to it?
it's existing as, it's just 1-car garage. It doesn't have space for 2.
Because isn't that isn't the 1-car garage new?
Yeah, the 1-car garage, but existing is also a single-car garage. And because he can't go to it, so basically the new garage blocks it, but he doesn't plan on finishing it, the original garage. Also regarding the basement floor plan, nothing changes because the new addition does not have a basement, it's a garage. Do you still want me to submit it?
Yes, I mean.
Okay, not a problem.
I think we really, you know, it's unusual to, you know, we need to figure out, to justify the water and sewer use form. I think it would be good to know what's going on at all levels.
Okay, great. I mean, not a problem. I'll submit it.
And to follow up on that, if it's just going to be an empty space at this time and no plans to renovate it or finish it, there'll be a condition in the resolution that will say that it cannot be finished with any bedrooms or bathrooms, because you're representing that there's no new water or sewer demand.
Correct, definitely.
Okay.
It's existing, and he's just gonna leave it the way it is right now. Okay, not a problem.
But
I mean,
what I'm saying is that it
Yeah, I
would
understand.
change things, that if in the,
course.
3 weeks after you get the approval, you put in a bedroom and a bathroom.
Correct.
So you're not going to be able to do that. I just wanted to
Correct.
let you know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Other questions or concerns for the applicant?
So there will still be blacktop on the side of the new portion?
Correct. The blacktop is gonna stay the way it is. If you take a look at the site plan, the existing driveway is gonna stay
Right.
the way it is. As of now, there's blacktop where the new garage is, so you
Right.
can turn into that existing garage.
Okay,
So the new garage is gonna cover that blacktop.
okay.
And instead of going into the driveway and making a right to the garage, just
Go
go
straight
straight
in.
into the
But
garage.
that's what I'm saying, so there'll still be some, going straight into the garage, there's still gonna be a little bit of existing blacktop to the side.
A little
according
bit
to
the
that
way it is
picture.
because it has that turn
Yeah,
thing.
okay.
They're not gonna remove it. I mean,
Okay.
most likely it is gonna be removed because of the digging. So if that's the case, they're just gonna make it straight into the garage. But, yeah, or they'll keep it, they'll put it back.
Any other questions or concerns for the applicant?
I'm really, a little more clarity in this unfinished garage.
I just have,
Well, that's what.
could you just clarify, the second floor to the left, above the garage,
Yeah,
you're not doing any alterations, or you are?
yeah, I am. The second floor, yes.
What are we doing there?
So if you take a look at the back picture, the last sheet, as of now, only this window is existing,
Yeah,
okay? They're adding this.
so you're just doing windows?
What is that?
You're just doing window changes?
No, a
No,
blue playroom.
There's a
Full
playroom.
Entire room. This is existing, this room is new.
Okay.
That's the playroom, on the left.
Yeah, there's no new bedrooms or bathrooms in there.
I believe that's an existing, as I said, we'll submit existing versus new.
Okay.
So you'll be able to see it.
Any other questions or concerns? Rick?
This particular application, because it's a modification to an existing approved structure, is exempt from the moratorium. So when it's ready, you may proceed to go ahead and make a determination. It's a seeker type 2 action. The GML 239M referral was made just the other day, so obviously still time running on that, and a public hearing is required.
All right, I'll offer a motion to type this as type 2 on the secret.
I'll second.
Second by Sandy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
How we feel about public hearing? 20th?
Sorry.
20th?
This one I would prefer the September 6th if possible, because this one you can actually, it can go through, so every 2 weeks matters.
So you can get everything in by,
2 weeks before the 6th, yeah.
the 6th.
Oh, I thought you said the 15th.
Yeah, the 6th you said, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So you'd have to have
October
everything.
6th, sorry.
The 23rd,
Yeah.
24th. Okay, that would be okay.
If possible, on the first, the Jacob, since you can't vote it in anyway, I would push that off to the 20th.
He's masked a killer. I'm sorry,
Huh?
I couldn't hear what the last part you said
I
was.
said, I didn't know that you can't vote for it. The first project, the Jacob,
Right.
you have scheduled for the 6th. We can push that off to the 20th like that, because since you can't do any, you can't vote on it anyway till the 6th month.
Okay. So you want to move Jacob, the 5
Allegheny.
Allegheny
Yeah.
to the 20th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have to rescind the other
I don't know.
motion? Or no?
make a motion to modify. But this one, you can do 6.
Since this one, you can actually go for it.
Okay. All right, so I'll offer a motion to schedule a public hearing for the 64 South Fields Falls for October 6th.
I'll second.
Second by Tommy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then I will modify my motion for Jacob 5 Allegheny to schedule that public hearing for the 20th of October.
Correct.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Sandy. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right?
I did type on that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah, I think Tom.
Oh.
Did I make a motion to type it?
Yes.
I did, right?
I did
Yes.
a second.
I missed it, sorry.
It's okay. All right, thank you, sir. One more. Where's my agenda? Fogel, ARB, reviewed documents submitted for ARB and ridge preservation for proposed single-family dwelling. Said property is located 62 First Avenue in Highland Mills and is known as the Village of Woodbury Tax Maps, Section 214, Block 1, Lot 1. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Israel Fogel. I'm the owner of the property. On April 30, 2019, my house was destroyed by fire, and I came over to the previous inspector, code enforcement, Gary, and asked him how I should go about it. And he told me that I have to do, since it got destroyed, I need to have I need to go through the ZBA, and I have to have a septic system designed or a engineer that approved the previous one. And I tried to speed up the process the fastest as I can, and I hired to get a ZBA, and I hired AFR Engineering to do a septic design, and AFR took me for a ride until I saw that they're going around in circles, and I hired a new engineer, Mike Lassell, and finally I came up with all the plans, and I submitted to the building department, and they told me that I can't go ahead until I have the planning board approval to rebuild my house. I'm asking you, please help me. I tried my best, and I'm like almost 2.5 years. I rented a house. It's not what I want, and I'm going through a hard time. Please, I'm ready to work with you and do whatever I can, but I want to see my house back. My current lender is trying to evict me because he wants the house back. I was supposed to be there for a short period of time, and now it's like over 2 years, and until we get to something, it will take another, I don't know how many months. And just tell me what I need to do to get me back on my property.
Jonathan, you want to go through your notes? You all right?
Yes. We reviewed the plans and generated a memo on August 26th. We were looking for floor plans for the different levels of the house and an indication of the square footage with, on each level and the gross square footage for the whole new house. And that way the planning board can determine whether it's compatible with the neighborhood. And we'll be able to confirm that the house will have 3 bedrooms once we see the floor plans.
I actually submitted that to the building department, and I have it here. I don't know if you have it, but I have submitted it.
Can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I submitted the floor plans and all the other things to the building department. I'm not sure if I was supposed to bring it to submit it to the planning board as well.
Yeah, we don't have any floor plans, unfortunately.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what Chris, you do in this situation if they've already been submitted to the building department, whether copies have to be made for the planning board's file separately. But we certainly haven't. We need to be able to look at that to figure out how many, to confirm the number of bedrooms in the house. Let me just continue going through my findings here. We need to know whether you'll be planting any additional landscaping, or whether any of the trees, you do have some nice trees that are on the site, and will you be able to, and whether you will be able to preserve those and put in the new house. We need to know if you're going to cut any of those trees down, or what you'll replace them with, or whether you'll be preserving the existing trees. On the plan, we need a bulk table. That's a table where it shows the setbacks that are required, the required yards, and for that zone R2A, and then what you're providing. I did not get involved in whether or not a variance was required. I just know that you can build on a non-conforming lot. Sometimes you need a variance, sometimes you don't, but I did not investigate that myself. I'd leave that to the building department. The site's at 770 feet in elevation. We need to know whether it's visible from any view corridors. I don't believe it is, but we need to know the answer to that question so that we can decide whether or not ridge preservation standards apply. Savannah wicker vinyl siding is proposed. The rustic cedar shingles are proposed. A note should be added that when the windows go in, anti-reflection film will be applied to them. Once again, we need to know if any of the vegetation, any of the trees that are greater than 8 inches around will be removed. And then we'd like to see some photographs of surrounding houses so that the planning board can make the determination that architecturally this new house will make sense with the houses surrounding it. And then I'll leave seeker and GML issues to the attorney.
Questions for Jonathan? No? More questions for the applicant?
I just want to make sure that I understood what you said, Mr. Fogel. You said that you already obtained a variance?
Yes, I got approved for a zoning board.
What was the variance for?
Because the original house was not according to was out of the bulk table.
I'm not sure what, not knowing the record of the ZBA, I'm not sure what they reviewed, but for one thing, it's a very small lot and it's an R2A. So 2 acres is required. I think it's less than 1 acre. But I'm not really sure why.
Do you have a copy of the variance decision that you got? Because I'm unaware of a variance decision.
Because typically you don't need a variance to rebuild after a fire if you do it within a certain amount of time, but.
Well, it has gotten a little bit complicated, but some of it may be less complicated if I can take a look at that variance decision that you say you got, because I don't know what variance you got.
I don't have it on paper,
Okay.
but I have it.
What year was
We'll have to,
Yeah, I'm emailing the building department now to ask her to send it over.
so putting aside the variance right now as to what you might have gotten, okay? Because I just don't know what that is. The situation is that fire destroyed a portion of the home. It's on a lot that's smaller than what is required, but the lot area has some protection as a pre-existing non-conforming lot. It also has protections for a pre-existing non-conforming building. However, as I understand it, you're not just going to rebuild your home, right? You're going to build a larger home than what you have, and you're going to go up a second story than the first story.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what you think you got variances for?
I got variances for the setbacks.
For the setbacks. Okay. Well, that may have included the second story setback, but I can't tell unless I take a look at that. So if someone is rebuilding their existing home after a fire, they don't need to get any area variances. even though it doesn't conform to setbacks, et cetera, right? It's considered to be saved by the pre-existing non-conforming building requirements. Also, if they're rebuilding this new home, right, they're not going to just rebuild the existing home, but now they're going to build a new home, but they're building it to the same dimensions as their old home, basically on the same foundation, same height, they wouldn't need any variances. Again, they're protected as a pre-existing nonconformity. But it seems like they're not doing either one of those things, so you would need variances. And, you know, if it went out further than their current footprint, their prior footprint, and certainly if they're going higher. You may have gotten those, I don't know, but we'll find that out. But since you are building a new home, you're not going to be exempt from the moratorium. If you were building to the same dimensions as your old home, you would be exempt. But because you're building something different and bigger, then you're not exempt from a moratorium, so this board will not be able to, we can proceed with reviewing the application, but they cannot give a determination until the moratorium is lifted. So there's really nothing further that I can do without seeing what variances there are to see what's left, other than the typical things of what Jonathan was talking about in his comment memo for an ARB and ridge preservation. So you can submit the information. You have a copy of Jonathan's memo?
Yes.
Okay. So the things that he was saying you need to submit those. There will ultimately have to be a public hearing on this after you submit that information. It's going to be in type 2 under seeker, which means that no further seeker review, environmental review needs to be done. And the public hearing whenever it's ready. The GML referral was made on August 20th, so we still have some time on that before you can act, but that time will obviously run before you're ready to act in any event. So the big thing is for us to take a look at the ZBA area variances and see what they got, to see what else he may or may not need. Hopefully you don't need other variances than what you got, but I can't tell you that unless we take a look at that ZBA decision. And you don't have to submit that. We'll get that from the building department files, and that will be circulated to all of us, and then we can advise you further as to what they obtained and what they didn't obtain.
So that really does sound like our next step here is the variance and then the review of the variance, if there is one.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you get that to us, we'll get it to the client. All right. So you have a little bit of homework to do. We have a little bit of homework to do. So we'll once we get that from the variance and council looks it over, he'll let you know where we stand. I don't want to schedule you for a public hearing or to come back until we know where we stand with the variance, because I don't want to waste your time. If you need to go in front of the ZBA, I'd rather get you in front of them and get this process done than you coming back in front of us for no reason. Because if there is